protective all around. Have a good day. Let me get a shot of this car. This is Greg Redden. I'm standing here at the corner of West 19th and Hamilton. I was very peacefully sitting here holding a sign saying anything helps, peace and love universally. I was then approached by three officers, one of which is still sitting here, and I was, asked what I was doing, and I said I was sitting here holding the sign, which I showed them. I'll move along. I'm just making a video. At that point, I was told that somebody had called in. Initially, I was told that, somebody said I was over at the Come and Go harassing customers, which is completely fabricated. As I was over there, being a customer, buying a fountain soda, as you can see right here. And then I was told that, people were uncomfortable with me sitting there and were calling in. At which point, I used logic and I said, well, why isn't there any investigation that goes into the dispatch, part of the call? Because certainly, me being who I am, there are a lot of people, or there are a segment of people out there who do not like me. Let's face it, when I'm somebody who questions the aspects of the government that are very deadly and harmful to society as a large, there are going to be those out there who are especially involved in that segment that do not like me. So this is not uncommon for me to be in a place of society and get calls, as I've been through this many times before. Now, I was then told, if I continue to sit here, people will continue to call, and at that point they can figure out a reason to take me to jail, not because I'm doing anything wrong or because I, did anything that was, malicious to the public. Especially, I was sitting here very peacefully, and I actually interacted with a lot of people who were very friendly. At that point, another officer, Officer Albright, who is very much an asshole in my view, is how I put it, based on his attitude, said, well, let me see your sign. I showed it to him. He said, well, that's illegal, that could, if you keep holding that, we can take you to jail. At that point, I said, also, let me rewind. At one point, there was a conversation of, well, you sitting here, how many people do you see sitting holding signs? That's out of the ordinary. Well, certainly, I don't see, even though there's not other people holding signs, it's certainly because the local PD intimidates and make people feel uncomfortable for doing anything that they deem, inappropriate, even though it has nothing to do with the law as it is. At that point, I brought up to the officer, who is still sitting here observing me, the fact that, in other metropolises that I've been in, San Diego and others, there's not a police department, who makes others, fear holding signs, and it's quite, not at all enforced or deemed inappropriate, which, makes everybody feel more comfortable and is good for the whole city when you don't have the PD intimidating everybody for being, themselves or being, unique. At this point, it's become a situation that I've dealt with certainly on a local level here in Sioux City over and over, where, somebody will call in for any reason, and if an officer has to respond to that situation, they make it a situation where, they're going to take you to jail if they don't. And it also comes down to a situation where everybody, feels self-entitled. If they don't like something somebody else is doing, they're going to call the police, which is just a complete bad thing. When you've got everybody, judging everybody and, feeling that they're, junior PD calling on everybody, you find that you live in a society that is, intimidated. Nobody wants to do anything. It's bad for business. It's bad for the morale. It's bad for the country. Nobody wants to do anything, and that's what we're living in right now, is a police state society. And I actually have nothing against police just overall. I have something against police who use their position to intimidate or to enforce bullshit on good people. Certainly I have a lot of respect for the old school police mentality, where even though there is a written law, and let's face it, there's billions of written laws, bullshit, and certainly I know for a fact, because I've been charged with bullshit. The written law has become something where it's so vague and broad that they can charge you with anything even though you're not doing anything wrong. Huh? Yeah, thank you. And it's just something that I'm glad to document, even though I'm glad it didn't happen. And also, I think it comes down to a situation where it's disgusting, where society has become full of stooges who make themselves feel like they're empowered. If they don't like something somebody else is doing, they're going to be called the police. Not because anybody's doing anything wrong, and also it was brought to my attention that me sitting here very peacefully holding a sign was making others uncomfortable. I certainly can't see how that is at all, anything of any merit. What makes me uncomfortable is that everybody has gotten to the point where if they see anybody doing anything that they don't like, they're going to pick up the phone and call the police. And we've gotten to the point where, in my mind, there's basic human laws, very, very few of them, and it's, I personally am somebody who deals with my problems without calling the police. Now, I understand that, and here we have down here Officer Albright, who certainly was quite an asshole in dealing with me, saying that if I moved down the way holding the sign, he was going to take me to jail. And, really just, the big old stooge he is. He gave me his card after I asked him his name because I wanted to document the fact that, he was such an asshole, Officer Albright. And I'll get a picture here of his card so everybody knows, if they deal with Officer Albright, to be on the lookout for an asshole. and uniform. I certainly have nothing against any just one segment of society, police or anybody, because there certainly are old school police who do something that is pretty cool. It's very lacking, but they sometimes don't see things, meaning if they see somebody doing something that's against the very, very broad and endless written law, but it's really not bad and they're good people, well, they just don't see it, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, then you think about it a long time, and so that's my little feelings on the matter. And I think it's too bad that Sioux City is not a place where not only people can be themselves and sit and hold signs, but also why not having street performance? I know myself, being somebody that's been in the streets and been an individual and unique, and practicing different talents of mine, that anytime I do something of that nature, a big old stooge will call the police on me. It's often been the case. I've been walking in the summer with my shirt off, and it's one of my genetic traits that I am a profuse sweater. So I'm thinking back to an example about a year ago where I was just walking and standing on a corner, and somebody called, and apparently, and the police said, well, they reported some guys sitting down here looking and acting crazy. Well, I'm certainly somebody who's athletic and passionate, to the utmost. I give everything of myself at every moment, so I'm always moving. I look intense and passionate. I might look crazy, and I might be sweating profusely. That certainly does not mean that I am, because I'm not. I'm actually a very fucking cool guy and a good guy. But fuck you to the stooge segment who wants to call Joe law every time they see somebody they don't like. And that's all I got to say about that. Peace.